Hello, good day and good morrow. How are you all doing today? As you can see in the video, I am doing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and yeah. So I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this game. I think it's one of the most coolest settings. I love Viking mythology. I love Vikings. I just love English history. You know, stepping back into English history kind of feels like a warm going home sort of situation, and it's really interesting. And going around these like really nice rolling hills and stuff like that really shows off some really nice things. And that's the one thing I can give this game, is it is gorgeous. It's one of the best games I've ever played, best looking games I've ever played. The map size is massive, and this is over like 3 maps, and there's a ton to do, but that's also its downfall. It's got a ton of just busy work. There's a lot of collectibles, a lot of things, and unlocking your like special abilities all just by having to search the world, because we know why they did that, was to basically force you to look around, but I've discovered like 4 or 5 abilities and been pretty comfortable through the game and quite enjoying it. It's also a really long game. So you might be wondering, why am I playing this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Vikings, the series, it's just popped up on Netflix, and I'm slowly rewatching that series. And I was hankering for some Viking action that I could get my teeth into, and something long to play through up until the release of Monster Hunter, which is in a couple of weeks. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, and I thought, screw it. This game has some really cool things. Yes, it's not historically accurate, but there are some really interesting moments in the game. The raids are a really cool idea. You're just traveling around and go, oh, there's a village, let's go get them. But that does equal to having a problem with like the leveling up in this game. I don't like the RPG style of the Assassin's Creed games. I always found their combat really floaty and just not very fun. Not very fun. I don't like numbers-based combat if it's done like this. It's like you swipe at an enemy and a number. You swipe at an enemy, a number. A swipe at an enemy, they die. I don't really react to it, and I'm not a big fan on that. That's why I tend to use like the big weapons, like the giant battle axe and the giant sword. And you can probably tell on the footage behind me, one of the number of reasons I'm not the biggest fan of this game, the weapons. There are some really goofy weapons in this game. I'm playing with an ice axe in this footage. I think it came from the Ubisoft store, and that was another thing that I really didn't like. The Ubisoft store is just full of like really broken armor to try and get you to spend money. All this game does is try and make you spend money, which is Ubisoft. That's Ubisoft for you. I know I genuinely have been hankering for an Assassin's Creed game lately. Syndicate, just for some reason, just doesn't run very well for me, and I have no interest in Egyptian mythology. And Odyssey, I just don't like the main character, which you meet in this game, and I think she's so annoying. God, I've never wanted to punch a character so much when I met her in this game. And I haven't got an older console to play like the older games. I think Black Flag is, what's the word? It's not what it's, you can't play it at the moment, which is disappointing, but hey ho. We'll just live with it. I think you can play it on PlayStation, but I think it runs like arse. And the only other way I can run it is on Switch, which I think I still got the what's the word? The cartridge for that. I might have to check that out, see if I've still got Assassin's Creed on that. I know I've got one of them. I think it's like Freedom Calls, because it's like a downloadable thing. But that's it. This game is really hard to talk about because I've played for it and I'm not finished with it, and it's really long. Like, I've got to this point in the game where there's just nothing to do. There's no campaign missions. There isn't any real cutscenes. It's just busy work. Go collect this. Go get some resources. Go get this. Do that. And it's just boring. This game, I only can play it for a couple times a day, because a couple hours a day, because it's just how boring. I'm forcing myself through the game, mostly just because I'm trying to, you know, I actually do want to finish it at some point. I don't actually finish a lot of Assassin's Creed. because they're so long and boring half the time, and I never actually get to the point where I want to finish them. I think the closest I got was Syndicate, and actually finishing that story. Even like Black Flag, the game that I absolutely love and think is one of the best games on the PS on the last generation, I just didn't finish. I spent a lot of time not doing much in that, and it's disappointing because Vikings are cool. Like, generally, Norse mythology is one of the coolest mythologies out there, and there is another reason why I'm playing this, is mostly just because Assassin's Creed Shadows just looks boring. Like, all the gameplay, I thought they would have improved it by then, but no, its damage system, it has the same combat system as this, and I think it looks boring. The character, and not being able to do both stealth and, you know, action, you're forced to swap between characters if you want to do either. I think it's a really lazy way of forcing you to play both characters. I'm quite interested to see if you can go through that whole game without switching characters, because there will be people who want to do that. I'll make it a fucking campaign requirement. Yeah. To be fair, the stealth in this is god awful. There isn't much of it. I tried to stealth like once or twice. I just can't do it. You just, ugh. You're a Viking. You're not equipped to do this. I will say the climbing system in this game is actually really cool. You can climb nearly anything as long as it's got a ledge, and that's, yeah. It does have a few problems of like not being very easy to figure out of what you've got to do. Like, there's these moments where you've got a locked door. You've got to like swing around and pop them open from the other side. Sometimes they're like really awkward angles. There was one in one of the houses. I had to stand on top of like a really obscure place to be able to actually get my aim in, and even then I had to really turn up my contrast, because of just how small and trying to hit this tiny little target wasn't fun. Which is saying something. I'm trying not to put people off this game. This game is fun. Like, there is some really fun moments in it. The massive raids are really fun. The combat can be fun. The archery is very fun. I do like using the bow, you know, targeting each point and actually getting critical hits. But if I would recommend this game, mostly now because it's dirt cheap nowadays, and you can get like both the DLCs, because there's 2 DLCs for this game and a standalone DLC, which I'm not probably going to touch the DLCs just because this is massive and I don't think I'll ever finish it as soon as possible. But hey, there have been crazier things. I need to think about what I'm doing next. I got some games that I'm definitely going to try and be doing. Again, if you have any games that you want reviewing, put them in the comments. I'll probably get to them and actually talk about them. As long as they're not fucking Veilguard. Or, God, I won't touch that game. Anyway, bit of a quiet, bit of an unorganised episode today. I'm not feeling 100%, but I said to myself I need to get at least one video out a week. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna go and put my head down and get some sleep. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and ta-ra.